Hi everyone, welcome to Adventures with Raven and Rowley. I'm Raven and this is Rowley. We're living full-time in our 6x12 converted cargo trailer now, and for the past 5 years we lived in an RV full-time, a Class A for a few years and then a fifth wheel for even more years. Last week I talked about a few off-grid appliances that I feel are necessary for my comfort. The 𝗪𝗂 swamp cooler and the 𝗏𝒃𝒃 filter and the 𝗏𝑜₂ dual zone refrigerator freezer. Absolutely makes it feel like home. Oops. Yep. Can't knock the table. Okay. This week I'll talk about living in the desert full time for 1 month and a few problems that I solved. If you're curious, please join us on this journey and continue to watch. I realized this morning that I've been living in the Nevadan desert for exactly 1 month today. Looking back, I realized that I've survived pretty well even in 104-degree heat. I've solved a few minor and a few major problems I didn't panic. The first was on moving day. I went out to where the women were caravanning. They left the next day. Immediate choices came up. Do I stay and remain within 2 miles of my previous home? Do I go back to the park and just say that I wasn't ready, it was foolish, it was a stupid idea, whatever it was? Do I go with the women and trust that my car will make it? I moved to another nearby spot. I figured I needed to stay within 2 miles of where someplace I could walk to get help, instead of out in the middle of the mountains and a half-an-hour drive, I didn't feel safe in that spot. I moved to another spot and didn't feel so great there either. So I moved to yet another spot, and it was on top of a plateau, and it's just absolutely terrific. Absolutely terrific. I didn't panic. I just moved until I felt safe, During that first week, I kept running out of power. The solar chargers wouldn't keep up with the refrigerator. Using both of the chargers, the 𝗥𝗃 and the 𝗥𝗃 240 and the 540 King, or the King 540, I couldn't keep it running 24 hours a day. So I started turning it off at night to try and conserve power for the daylight hours. It wouldn't maintain the temperatures during the day. So I hocked my soul for the credit card company and got a 100-watt solar panel and a 100-amp-hour battery. The solar power came with the controller, so I didn't have to worry about that at that time. That worked better. That freed the solar chargers to keep other stuff charged, like my computer. It ran the system for 2 or 3 days and then shut down. I had to turn the system off for a full day to get the batteries at least half charged. I don't have enough solar solar panels, which put me back in the same situation, was running out of power, but not as fast, Week 3 was trying to solve the above problem, the solar problem of not enough power. And then I was gifted with a Battleborn battery, and later on I was gifted a 100-watt solar panel. 2 different people on 2 different days. They made a big difference, but it still runs out of power if it's overcast for a full day. It'll run, almost a week but if I get an overcast day, it will not charge the batteries. The next day I'm running out of power. So then I've got to disconnect everything and hook it to the solar chargers and ration power until those batteries are full again, or half full anyway. So I need more solar panels to fully charge the batteries daily. But that's down the road after the car repairs. You know, right now I'm making it. It's okay. Week 3 was also about water and that wonderful Hessia swamp cooler. So the cooler requires 1 gallon of water per hour. It's going up to 104 degrees again today. I talked briefly last week about the way I handle water. I put it into gallon jugs so that I can lift them, you know. I have 13 1-gallon jugs, one 6-gallon jug that I filled. I didn't fill the 16-gallon barrel because of its weight. And then I figured out, okay, so how was I going to fill it? You know, do I bring my little gallon jugs and just keep pouring it in there? And then how do I get it out, you know? Anyway, it's funny how stuff happens. But I was gifted a pool pump because of last week's video. So the video came out on Friday. Saturday, I received a pool pump. Okay. So Saturday I was gifted a pump. I put it in this box to keep it all together. This is either a pool pump or maybe it's, I don't know what kind of pump it is, but it's a pump. I got the additional hose, and I put these clamps. Oops, I put these clamps on the end here because it was a raw wire, and I had these clamps that also had a raw wire at the end to hook into a solar panel. So I figured if I needed it ever again as a charger for my solar panel, directly from my solar panel to the battery, then I can just take off the tape. But this is the pump that I was gifted which makes transferring water just really an easy thing. So, as for the tubs, these are the 2 tubs I bought. So they're 20 gallons each. I don't fill them up exactly to the top. I have learned not to do that because it sloshes out in the car. And in order to run that pump, I had told you, maybe at any rate, I had these 2 little batteries. So this pump runs off of this battery. I don't even know what kind of battery it is. Oh, it's really heavy. I'm not going to pick it up with my left hand. But anyhow, it's a little battery. I think it's about 35 amp hours. So it's amazing how that came together. All of these from different people. And that's the barrel, which was easy to fill this morning. That's my dust off the solar panel rag. But it was easy to fill with that water pump. And to get water out of here this morning, I only needed a couple of gallons. So another friend had given me this one when we were trying to decide if I should have a sink or not. And this one, the hose hooks into the bottom. Hooks into the bottom like that. The hose hooks into the bottom like that. And you press the button on the top. And you get water coming out the spigot, which is kind of cool. So I filled up a couple of gallons this morning that way out of this barrel so that I didn't have to use the big pump. And that worked absolutely beautifully. So that worked, okay? So I said, okay, you've got a barrel and you've got a pump. How do you get the water? Okay. I started looking at water barrels. They were upwards of $300. I said, okay, we're not going to do that. I looked at RV holding tanks. They started around $85, you know, for a 20-gallon tank. That wasn't too bad, but you know how it goes. I looked at and then bought 20-gallon sterilized plastic storage containers at Walmart for $6.47 each. I bought 2, stuck them in the back of the car, filled them, drove the 2-3 miles, and now I had 40 gallons of water. Works out really well. This water stay cool problem got solved so fast that I didn't even have time to panic. You know? Anyway, we get to week 4 this past week. I came out to open the windows on my car because of the excessive heat. The battery was so dead, it didn't even make that clicking sound, you know? I didn't panic. Well, I might have panicked for about 2-3 seconds. Then I reminded myself that I have a jump starting brick, you know, one of those bricks, which is in the house, and I'll have to put a picture up here because I forgot to bring it out. It needed charging. So I said, okay, so I used the solar charger to charge it. No biggie, right? I decided not to jump start it until Tuesday. Now this was Thursday, last Thursday before I made the video for Friday, you know. So the idea was so that not to waste gas, because I'd have to turn it on, run it, you know, for half an hour or whatever, or drive it around or whatever to get the battery charged again. And gas, as you know, is expensive, and I wasn't going to go anywhere or do anything except drive around to keep the battery, to charge the battery. So I said, okay, leave it. Tuesday was the earliest I could get an appointment at the mechanic. So I figured I'd get up Tuesday morning, I jump start the car, drive it out there, and you know, if it died at the mechanic at the garage, it died at the garage. There's no biggie, you know. That's cool. I didn't sleep well, though. I didn't panic, but I didn't sleep well, okay? So I finally took my 1999 Dodge Durango to the garage to see the car doctor, right? I found that I needed over $2,000 in repairs. That's $1,000 each to replace the computer. The guy said if I didn't replace the computer, sooner or later the car wasn't going to run. That's a big problem out here in the desert. And the other thing was to replace the steering box, because I've got a leak in the steering box. I've been dumping steering fluid in there, you know, when it begins to think about getting low. So, you know how it goes. It's a 1999 car, you know. I was talking to a friend who advised me to go to the junkyard and get the computer and pay someone to put it in. I said to myself, wait a minute now. You know, how many times have I seen these backyard boys out there doing stuff to their cars, you know? Most car handyman types learn this on their own in their backyard. So if they can do it, I can do it. So I Googled it. Love Google. The most informative video on replacing the computer was 1 minute long. It took, the tools cost around $20, you know. I think I probably already have those particular tools, but I'm thinking maybe I should just get a set that's dedicated to the car and just leave it in the car, you know. And it's about $20, right? So I opened the hood and looked for where the computer was placed in my car. To remove it, I need to remove a total of 4 screws and 3 clamps. It's not even, I mean, it is so accessible, it's ridiculous, okay? I've seen a video also on resetting it if it's needed, but my local O'Reilly's can get it in less than a week, and they will program it for my VIN. So I may not have to do anything about resetting anything. I haven't pulled it out yet. But I found out yesterday that the numbers to order are on a sticker right on the front. So I looked it up. It's $278 for that part. And of course I could go to a dump and get one for $6, but I'll go for the 248, 270, whatever it was. 278, I think it was. And I'll just keep pouring in steering fluid as I need it for now. I don't think I'm doing more than a quart, if a quart, once a month, you know, so that leak isn't a squirting leak, it's a leak, it's a dripping leak, you know. So I'll let you know how it goes changing out the computer within a week or two. You know, it's going to take a week to get it and that kind of stuff. Somehow, I didn't panic. The desert is very calming. I don't feel panicky about anything, you know, which is amazing. In the past, I would have panicked big time with a lot of theatrics, you know, and crying and being upset. And, you know, that was my younger years. So that's how it's been here in the desert. And the sun just came up a few minutes before I started this video. And it's going to get hot. But otherwise, things are okay. Things are really, really, really okay. So, the Rowley report. You going to give me that ball? Give me that ball. What? You want me to throw this ball? Okay? Okay? Yeah. Yeah, that's a good boy. Gimme, 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 gimme. Okay, I guess I'm not supposed to have that. As you can tell, Rowley is very relaxed. You know, it's good out here for him. It's good out here for me. Right? So thanks for watching. And thanks for your support. I'll see you next Friday at 5 p.m. Pacific time. Take care of you and yours, and blessed be. Right, baby?